Well, it's time now for a business update. Yuka Roy is here with me. Hi, Yuka. And you're starting out with the fallout of OPEC's agreement yesterday.
Oil prices were hit hard after the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and some OPEC members agreed to extend supply cuts until March next year. Investors were expecting either deeper or longer output cuts and were disappointed by the 9-month extension to the existing deal to reduce production by 1.8 million barrels per day. The Brent crude benchmark and the US West Texas Intermediate both tumbled about 5% in Thursday's trading. Energy ministers of Saudi Arabia and Russia, though, both say they're confident that the deal will ease the supply glut and stabilise the market.
We will do whatever is necessary, and that certainly includes extending the 9 months further, whether it's 3 months or more. But we will cross that bridge when we get to it.
Our common goal here, first of all, is to achieve a balanced market and to restore the investment attractiveness of the sector in general, in order to be able to fulfill future needs and to give more predictability to the market. We're all reaping the benefits of this, both producers and consumers, and that's why we have to make sure that we continue on this path.
And Yuka, how are the markets looking?
Well, oil prices edged up slightly this Friday after falling the most in 3 weeks, but it's still on the defensive. Over on the stock market, Asian energy shares fell the most, weighed down by that OPEC decision. The markets are broadly trading weaker in Asia, despite the fact that Wall Street closed at a record high on Thursday.
Now, Yuka, this weekend marks the start of Ramadan. The festival season is usually marked by lots of food and celebrations after the fasting, of course. But that's not the case in Egypt right now, is it?
Right, many Egyptians are feeling the pinch as prices of food and other goods have been skyrocketing in recent months. That's because of a massive drop in the Egyptian currency pound, which happened after the currency was floated last year. Egypt relies heavily on imports, and the weaker currency is making life harder for ordinary people, as Martin Pollard reports.
Sahir didn't used to rear poultry, but with prices as they are in Cairo, and with Ramadan approaching, the mother of 4 felt she had no choice.
When we go to a chicken shop, we can't even buy a chicken as small as 2 kilos. There are 6 of us in our family, so we'd need at least 2 chickens, and I'll need around £150 to buy one. But how can I with today's prices?
More and more Egyptians are like Sahir, taking matters into their own hands. That's because the price of food, and indeed almost all goods, is painfully high. The value of the Egyptian pound has been steadily falling since 2010, but it really plunged after the government floated the currency for the first time ever last November. That was one of a series of requirements for a $12 billion IMF loan to be released over 3 years. Given that Egypt heavily relies on imports, people are feeling the pinch.
There's no selling or buying. Everyone's miserable and there's nothing we can do. What we're going through at the moment has never happened before, and we never expected it.
Floating the pound is, however, helping to reduce the budget deficit. And this, along with other government reforms such as tax exemptions to encourage more foreign investment, has pleased the IMF enough to promise to release the second tranche of the loan.
And let's take a look at some other business headlines we're covering here. And Japan's consumer price index climbed to a 2-year high in April, up 0.3% from a year earlier. Although the latest figure offers some hope of a steady economic recovery, economists say that the increase is likely to be short-lived because it was partly due to rising energy prices. Wage growth remains weak. Shares of General Motors fell after a class action lawsuit was filed against the car maker for allegedly cheating emissions tests using devices similar to Volkswagen's. The lawsuit was filed in Detroit and alleges that GM rigged data on more than 700,000 pickup trucks with Duramax diesel engines during road tests. The trucks emit 2 to 5 times the legal limit of NOx pollutants in real-world driving, according to the document. GM denies the allegations. And Mark Zuckerberg finally received an honorary degree from Harvard University, some 12 years after dropping out. Facebook's CEO founded the social networking site in his college dormitory in 2004 and later left to work on the project full-time. He urged fellow graduates there to build a world of purpose, telling them that even global changes start small.
And Yuka, finally from you, online retail giant Amazon has a new physical bookstore.
That's right. The online retail giant has just opened its first brick-and-mortar shop in New York. And it is its 7th physical store in the world. The new shop only has about 3,000 bestsellers that are rated 4 stars or above on Amazon.com. There are no prices on the books, and shoppers have to use either the Amazon app or a scanner to see them. They can also pay using the app. This way, Amazon can collect data on people's buying intentions. The company dominates e-commerce, but surveys show that 90% of worldwide retail spending is still in physical stores. Amazon plans to open 13 more shops across the United States by the end of the year.
Yuka, thank you very much for that business update.
Thank you.